Hello YouTube, I am your host, the Crimson Warrior, and today I am bringing to you my Salamangreat deck profile post the nuclear apocalypse that was the July 15th ban list in effect immediately. So let's get on with it, shall we? Alright, getting right into it, we have our singular copy of Gazelle to be expected after our ban list. Triple Spinny. If you're running less than 3 after this ban list, I don't know what you're doing with the deck. No insult, just like, we need to make rank 3s, and without Gazelle at 3, like, this is the best card in the deck after Gazelle going to 1. Triple Foxy. Also, to anyone who dropped it to 2, post Gazelle, we need consistency, and this is it in a nutshell, so I would take it with what you can. Next up, this was an engine that I had dropped. Now, without Gazelles, these become very pertinent. You want to discard and draw, and you also want to keep your monster count up to use these guys, so I personally use all of them, and if anything, if I'm going first my next round, I can side it out easy for the artifact package if I want to. But honestly, after that ban list, this is the consistency that we need to continue and keep playing the game. Next up, Double Jack Jaguar. We are weak to Called by the Grave now. We were before as well, but your opponent's going to be going after your Gazelle now before your Jack Jaguar, and if they hit your Jack Jaguar, they're not going to expect you to have a second. And with the triple Flamer Buffalo, I really needed another discard target, so I really think 2 Jack Jaguar, even though it has become a brick, is optimal for the deck. Next up, Double Foul. Chain blocking. This makes your Gazelle go through as long as it's blocking an Ash Blossom and not an Infect Veil or an Imperm. But it helps, and with Gazelle going to 1, we want it to go through, so having this in your starting hand is a great extender to go into other plays like Bagooska and Abyss Dweller onto your opponent as well as defending your turn in general. 1 of Falco. Honestly, this could probably go to 2 if you really wanted to push it and you wanted to run a more rank 4 styled build. I just don't feel like I need more than 2 yet. I haven't done any real testing post this ban list. This is all Therio. 1 Lady Debug on the list, obvious. Triple Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring. Now this is just staple, obvious. Triple Phantasme. In every single one of my previous profiles, I said this was not necessary. Going into the new format, it, I hope, is not necessary, but honestly, I don't know what the versions of this deck without Thanos Dragon are going to start looking like, especially because you want really good control of your hand after Gazelle and Circle going to 1. Next up, our main search card with Circle going to 1. You need the Signet Minings now if you want to play the deck. I mean, we went from 10 copies of Gazelle with the 1 debug, a playset of Gazelle, a playset of Circle, and a playset of this. If you don't have a playset of this, congratulations, you have 3 copies of Gazelle in your deck. Lady Debug, Gazelle, and Circle. That's it. So this bumps your Gazelle ratio up to 6 copies, which is necessary to operate the deck at this point. Next up, 1 Salamangreat Circle. Ban list. I would run 3 if I could, obviously, but what can we do? 1 Sanctuary. Thank you. Whatever the new pack's name is, I forget all of a sudden. Let's see if Battles of Legends, yes. Double Will. I am opting to play Double Will now because of all of the discard effects in the deck. We want to start getting our graveyard back onto the field, and we need to start closing games out fast. Without the resource game that we had with Gazelle basically getting hurt so hard, we need to start winning, and quickly. triple Twin Twisters. This is back row removal. I'm tired of getting locked out, and the Mystic Mind player at my locals, as much as he's a nice guy, is pissing me off. So necessary at 3 of, if you feel like you don't need spell and trap removal, just wait until you go up against Mystic Mind, and then you will realize the error of your ways. But I digress. Triple Call by a Grave. We are still a combo deck, basically. It's still a very good card. Next up, 1 Rage, 1 Roar. Nothing much to say about that. That's pretty standard. We've seen each of these cards go up to 2. I've ran Roar at 2 at one point in time. Depending on where the format goes, it just depends on which one you add more of. Great against Pendulum. And lastly, triple Imperm. You don't need this to play the deck. This is actually one thing that you really actually don't need to play the deck. It can be effect failures. This could be an Upstart, a Foolish Burial, and another consistency card, if you will. It's whatever. We're just limping out of the room and trying to get by after the hand we've been dealt with the ban list. So with that out of the way, let's get into the extra deck, shall we? Starting with triple Balinix. Obvious protection, don't run 2. Third comes up quite often, actually, and probably more so now. Triple Sunlight Wolf. I wish I had 3 copies of the Super, but I digress. And now, honestly, getting 2 more copies of the Super will probably be cheaper, as everyone will be dropping this deck. But not me, because I'm actually loyal to my decks, and once I pick something up, I try not to drop it, and I really don't see Salad. I don't see them crushed. Like, even after initially thinking so with the ban list and giving it some thought, we still make the same plays. We just went from 10 copies of Gazelle to 6. So, as much as that's disappointing, the only thing that we were hit with on this ban list was once again consistency. So we were right back to where we were with Lady Debug going to 1, except for these were main deck components. Next up, double Mirage Stalio. It comes up in the grind. You're always recycling your Jack Jaguar with your Sunlight Wolf with your Jack Jaguar. So it's really hard to get this out of the grave once it's there. I mean, you can, and you can make a point to recycle it, but I feel like going into the second one's always easier than recycling the first one over and over again, hoping that's enough. It comes up. That's all I can tell all of you players out there, and post this ban list, we are going to need all of the resource game we can get, so I would really recommend it. Next up, double Heat Leos. I want to swap these out. I just traded my structure deck copies away, so I'm going to try to get some more from another Salad player I know. Spins away back row. Not much else to say about that. Secret Tech, Mech Knight Avermax. This makes it so Salamangreat can swing over things. Now, I own Boral Sword now, and I still elect to play this over Boral Sword for 2 reasons. This is easier to get into with this deck. You just need 2 extra deck monsters, which is a lot easier than 3 monsters, at least in my opinion, because I tend to link up into problem-solving cards a lot, and then this is my option afterwards. Now, also, after you use Mirage Stalio, you can't activate the effect of any non-fire monsters. So you throw Avermax up, and once it's your opponent's turn, it's live, basically. Once it's live, you're good. Beautiful card right there. But Boral Sword can't use its effects if you used Mirage Stalio earlier that turn, meaning no Wombo Combo or OTK. So I'd much rather go into protection rather than depending on Boral Sword. It just depends on where I see my games going from here. Next up, rank 4 package, Dweller and Baguska. There's nothing to say about these other than you should probably be running both now if you run Salad. I understand most people were getting away with just the Abyss Dweller before. Post Gazelle, we want to play as defensively as possible, and I do not want to be macro cause, or well, this doesn't stop the macro cause of Dark Claw's effect, but it shoves it in defense and makes it easy to get over, and I've beaten a Chaos Max deck because of this guard alone. He thought he had the victory, and then I just used Baguska and waited a turn, and then I OTK'd him next. Great card. Next up, Salamangreat Violet Chimera and Starving Venom Fusion Dragon. Not much to say there. They're super poly targets. And that is the whole extra deck for you guys. So let us put that off to the side and get into the side. Starting with our artifact package. Sanctum, Sanctum, Sanctum. Scythe. Triple Lancia. If anyone wants to help me find a third Lancia, I would appreciate it. But I will probably have it in a week or two, so I digress. But this is all necessary nowadays. Orcust is still going to be running around. Danger Thunder Dragon is probably the best deck going forward, at least in my head. We'll see what the format says going forward. And we just want to stop them from vanishing. Well, that doesn't really stop. Well, it kind of stops Danger Thunder Dragon a little bit. It stops the extensions. Next up, Double Super Poly. Up to 3 after the ban list. I have nothing else to say other than that. And I honestly don't know what I'm going to get rid of, because this whole side deck is really, really necessary. Like these triple draws, which are great against Pendulum. They're great against come on, Greg. You don't just hate Pendulum. They're great against Danger Thunder Dragon, and I also started teching these in against Sky Striker because I was tired of the endless amount of resources and spell activations, and if you can slow down their spell activations, you slow down their advantage, and that is huge in the Sky Striker matchup, so that is why I elect for triple Drawl and Lockbird. Next up, triple Denko Sekka. I've had difficulties lately with back row decks. Altergeist looks like it's lying on the floor after getting multi-faker hit for absolutely no reason other than a Salamangreat card came out that supports Sangan that supported multi-faker, which is absolutely ridiculous in my opinion that freaking Altergeist gets hit when it wasn't even in the meta. Maybe it was preemptive, but it really seemed like a bad hit, in my opinion. But there's also Subterror and even other back row heavy decks I fought every once in a while. It's advantageous against Mystic Mine if you can just pop that up before they do anything. But yeah, that's salad post the nuclear apocalypse that was July 2015, or July 15th, 2019 for us. What do you guys think? I still think Salamangreat will probably be pretty meta moving forward. We just lost consistency, which was our superpower, so I digress. Alright guys, I wanted to thank you for watching the deck profile. Go ahead and like the video if you enjoyed. Comment down below, tell me where you think Salamangreat can go this format, and if we're still a meta deck. In my opinion, I think we are, but I have yet to see the format prove that yet, so I'd like to know what you guys think before time gets a chance to prove itself. Subscribe if you enjoy my content, and tap that notification bell if you'd like to see every time I upload, because it ain't stopping now. Peace, guys.